And here we are back at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. This is the entrance. We've got ticketing and membership over off to the left or right. And to get into the park, go straight ahead into the little thatched roof hut, grass roof hut. We're going to start this tour right now, of course. This is a walking tour of the entire park. I'm going to show you just about everything. There are lots of windy paths though, so we can't go on every single path, but we're going to make sure that we cover all of the majority of the exhibits. Here's the ticketing turnstiles. There are some restrooms to the left and to the right as you come in here. Take advantage of those if you need them. And just as soon as we are on the other side of the turnstiles, there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you. First off, there are lockers over here if you need them. Lockers are available. Safari Photo is right here, so if you get any photos taken throughout the day and you want to pick up those photos on your way out, this also functions as the park exit, so that will be right there. If I turn to my right, there's actually a display over here. We have our first animal before we even get too far in, and this is the salmon-crested cockatoo. I can actually see him over there on that side. And there is an entrance to one of the aviaries right there as well. You can see some people going. That's an aviary entrance. We'll keep going. Excuse me. We have the strollers and wheelchairs over off to our left. If you need some strollers and wheelchairs, stroller rental right now as of today. Today is Saturday, May 9th. And a stroller is $16, single stroller. Double stroller is $20. Wheelchair is $16. And a shaded electric scooter is $60 for rentals. There's a gift shop over here off to our left as well. Definitely check out Safari Outfitters if you're looking for some souvenirs. Probably on your way out. I mean, there's people going in right now, but usually like to do that on the way out. A photo opportunity as you first come in with this Jeep.
Oh, okay.
First of the photo opportunities if you want to, again, take advantage of the photo services that they have here. All along the right-hand side, you're going to find a lot more birds. Now, this is a walking tour, and it's probably going to be quite long. Just to let you know, you could see how long it is, obviously, before you clicked in. But because of that, we're not going to be able to stop and look and stare at every single exhibit. This video is more designed to help you understand what's here, what types of animals are here, get a layout, feel of the layout and the grounds, and see food and all that sort of thing. Again, it's not designed to be a camera of sorts for viewing the animals. We'll see animals, we'll point them out. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time looking at them. To our left is a Safari Outpost, Safari Coffee Outpost, as well as the Plant Trader. And so I don't want to pass that up. This is where you can get some coffee in the morning. Usually my family stops here, grabs a cup of coffee. And then if I actually turn around from this spot, the Wings of the World Aviary, that is another entrance to Wings of the World. And that's the same aviary that you would have access to from the very beginning of the park. We'll go through that on our way out. We'll be going back through this area to the exit, and we'll go through Wings of the World at the end. Construction wall here right now. It's the first time I'm seeing that. I haven't been here in a couple of months. And this little green area right here is where they'll often do some animal encounters, some pet talks or animal talks, and they'll bring out the animals and allow you to learn about them, pet them, different things like that. There's a nice zoo map here for you to see, get a lay of the land. If you want to have a map now yourself, you will have to download the San Diego Zoo Safari Park app. And there's stanchions all around with QR codes. One of them is directly ahead. You can download the app and it'll actually place, GPS-wise, it'll place a dot on the map to show you where you are. You can type in directions for it to take you where you want to go. Pretty useful, pretty handy. Definitely download the app. This area is called Safari Base Camp, and in Safari Base Camp you will find a lot of food. Here's Congo Kitchen, and Congo Kitchen has popcorn, churros, pretzels, and frozen bananas. And it looks like they also have rhino popcorn buckets available at several different locations. That's pretty neat. And here is another gift shop that's not quite open. We're here at park opening, by the way. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, or just after 9 o'clock. And so not everything is going to be open first thing in the morning. We're going to go off to our left. There's a couple of different ways that you can go. There's this direction, which splits into two paths over here. Or you can go off to the left up towards Walkabout Australia, which is the way I always tend to like to start. To our right is the Bazaar. This is one of the largest gift shops in the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, also not open at the moment. And next to that is Thorn Tree Terrace. And let me see if they have an outdoor menu to show you what types of foods are available here. Not their full menu, but a good idea of what they're gonna have. Bacon cheeseburger, Philly cheesesteak, seafood platter, chef salad, and some draft beers. And this is always a really nice place to get some food because there's a lot of outdoor seating. It's nice feel, good ambiance here. I always like to eat at Thorn Tree. Directly across from Thorn Tree Terrace is the Barking Deer Pizza, or just Barking Deer, but they have pizza and beer. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what they have: Barking Deer, pizza, and beer. Another restroom. Actually, you know what? We passed it. I did not point it out, but right over there is a carousel that appears to be running at the moment. So they have a ride that's paid. You have to pay to ride the carousel. It's not part of your admission. I don't know the cost, but I feel like it's going to be around like $6. It's not like crazy expensive or anything. Another restroom off to our left. I think I said that already. And then back this way, you have guest services in the thatched hut over there. And this is also going to be first aid, lost and found. They have ATMs in there, sensory bags available here, and also information for tickets and tours and guest services. Generally speaking, if you do have a tour, you are going to meet up right about here. For the tour, you should have instructions in your email exactly when and where to meet, but I have seen a lot of tour groups meet right about here because, you know, the guest services is right there. And back there is the Hunt Nairobi Pavilion. I've never actually been in there, but that's a private event space. And so unless you're here for a private event, you probably won't ever be in there either. Now we're gonna head up towards Walkabout Australia. There's tigers, California condors, kangaroos, emus, actually not emus, cassowaries, and platypus is up this way. And then this is brand new for this year. I haven't even been there yet. The Denny Sanford Elephant Valley. And you can get to it by going right over here off to the right. There is another way to get there, and we will go that way a little later. We're going to start up in Walkabout Australia, and then we'll work our way back through Elephant Valley right after Walkabout Australia. So to get up to the Australia area, you're going to follow this pathway to the left. Now, it used to be that this pathway was one way in and one way out. So if you are familiar with the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, but you haven't been here in 5+ years, a couple of these things are going to be new, like the Elephant Valley. And that pathway back there is actually the start or the entrance to it. Again, it used to be you would go down by the bats and the Flightline Safari area, and you get to it down there. That pathway no longer exists. So the pathway we just passed is the new entrance to Elephant Valley. We're going to be going in the back entrance, which you'll be able to get to from Walkabout Australia area. And again, we'll show you that in just a moment. You do have to walk up this bridge to get to Australia. I may not be talking the entire time through this video. There may be moments of silence because there's nothing to talk about. But but I will still leave the camera on so that you can see the entire safari park. If you were to head off to the right, that's going to take you to the Tiger Trail, but this whole area does a big loop. So we'll get to the Tiger Trail in just a little bit. To the left, we're going up to Walkabout Australia first. There are signs here that tell you where you're going. When we reach this point, the pathway is going to split again. If you head off to the left, we will end up at Walkabout Australia. And if you go to the right and keep going, you'll go straight to the California Condor area, Condor Ridge. Now remember what I said, there's too many paths that we'll not be able to be on every single one of them. We're not going to use this road. We will get to Condor Ridge, but via Walkabout Australia. To our right is the Wallaby area, and you can go in this area, walk around. There's a little path that you can take. You cannot leave the path, so if the wallabies aren't on the path, you can't leave it to go towards them. But if they happen to be on the path, you can get pretty close to them. I don't know that they encourage you to pet them at all. They may not even let you pet them. We've been to a lot of zoos in Australia, conservation reserves and things like that, where you can actually pet the animals. But that's not what this is, though it's very similar, because there's going to be this area over here off to the right where you're going to have to go through kind of like an aviary door so that the animals can't get out. You have to wash your hands before going in there. So clearly, maybe you can pet them, because they want you to wash your hands before you head. You know what, we might as well go in. This is a tour. We're gonna show you the area. There's one of the wallabies right down there. Okay, so we've just come inside, and the guide at the front did say no touching of the animals, so that answered that question. Like I said, I didn't think that you could touch the animals. That's not the intent of this walking area. But this is the marsupial walkway. It's self-guided. There's nothing going on in here, just that you can walk by and look for the animals. We saw that one sitting down in the sun, but I am not seeing any others. Sometimes they're all down here. They all like to hang out down here. And we do have a volunteer or worker down this way. Oh, yep, I can see them down here. Or at least there's one down here. A couple. Yep, oh, lots of them down here. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. There's one right there. There's one a little further back there. One right here. And another behind those trees. Not sure how well you can see them. Another back there. And also right back that way. So, what is that, 6? I got 6 down here. They either like to sit at the front or here in the back. I feel like I very rarely see them walking around the actual area, like, you know, right through here. I have, don't get me wrong, I have seen them right through here. It's just not typical. That was it. They are free roaming in here. There's no fences or walls. There's nothing keeping them behind anywhere. I've seen them literally on the path before. We need to wait for that door to close. And then wash your hands. I love that the trash can in here says rubbish, because of course that's the Australian word for trash. They also have all of these Australian signs. Give way is probably one of my favorites. So much more polite than just a cold yield. Give way. We just got an insider tip from Allison, who works here at the safari park. And she told me something about the wool shed that I did not know. We are gonna have to go check it out, scope it out here in a second. But before we get there, we're gonna come across the platypus exhibit. To my knowledge, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park is still the only location outside of the country of Australia, the continent of Australia, to have platypuses. Platypuses. And that's going to be right in here. Sometimes, later on in the day, this area will have a very long line. But right now, first thing in the morning, they don't. Now, whether or not we can see the platypus is going to be another story entirely.
There he is. Yeah, he was at the surface just now.
There he goes.
Did you see him?
You might have seen him for the briefest of moments back there. I didn't stick around too long to get some better footage of him, but he did swim by. He's very elusive. You'll have to keep an eye out for him. They keep it dark in there to, I guess, be kinder on the animals. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Habitat or something like that. Tucker truck to our left. Every time I come by, the Tucker truck isn't open, but what does the Tucker truck have? It just says snacks, beverages, and fry cones. Now, the primary pathway for Walkabout Australia is going to go up that way. But if we come back here, we have the Bonsai Garden, Bonsai Pavilion, specific name of this area. And as the name would imply, you are going to find lots and lots of bonsai trees here. It just goes back there. I don't know if you can see the building back there. And then comes back around. So there's no point in walking through here. But know that it's here. And there are lots of bonsai trees. And if you want to come take a look at them, come visit the Bonsai Pavilion, which is just off of the Walkabout Australia area. To our left is the viewing for the Matchie's tree kangaroo, and I just saw him jump up into, I don't know if you can see his tail there. Let's see if I can zoom in. Directly center in your screen. He's sometimes hard to see. So that's all we're really going to be able to get of him today. But we might be able to find a better view up here. So in here is the wool shed, and you can get some drinks and some snacks and things at the sheared sheep. And they've got a bunch of tables in here. Now, what she had told me was about viewing for the Matchie's tree kangaroo. I think maybe she's talking about this spot right here, but she made it sound like it was a back patio area. And this is just still part of the wool shed. So we also need to come out here because this is going to be cassowary viewing. Cassowaries have two different exhibits here. And I'm not seeing the cassowary in either one of them. They have two different cassowaries. They keep them separated, but there's none out there. And yeah, I mean, there's no extra seating out here. So I'm not quite sure what she was referencing. I mean, there's still good viewing for the Matchie. Oh, there he is. Yeah, we did get a better look at him. Only because he went up higher. He's being pretty active right now. Is he going to try to go out on that limb? Or is he just looking for something to eat? Very cute, very cute. But no cassowaries. Didn't get to look at the cassowaries. Again, she said something about a back patio with extra seating. But in any case, we'll go this way. Exit the shed. Continuing on now. The path up ahead is going to split two ways. To the right is going to be Condor Ridge. I told you that we were going to get there via Walkabout Australia. We won't be going down that pathway we showed you earlier. It's just not going to be necessary. But to the left is the World Garden. And let's go ahead and walk up in here. Now this is a one-way in and a one-way out pathway. So once we reach the end, I'm going to turn the camera off until we get back down to that split. Not going to make you watch unnecessary footage of me backtracking. Some backtracking may be necessary here. It's not a perfect loop or circle. To the left is the Baja Garden. Trail starts here. There's a QR code that you can scan for the brochure. They're going to tell you the different types of flora and things that you're going to find through here. Leafy limber brush. I am not the biggest plant person, so I am not going to be the greatest tour guide during this portion of the video, but I know many of you probably are interested in plants, and so I want to walk through here so that you can see what is here, determine if it's worth you walking through it, especially since it's a dead-end pathway that doesn't connect. Many times I choose to skip it personally, but again, I already told you that I'm not much of a plant person. But this may be something that you're very interested in. I will tell you that the elevated walkways here do give you some really, really beautiful views of the safari park. The beautiful boojum tree. Don't know if I said that right. There are some stairs through here, so this is not a good pathway for strollers. I don't recall this walkway ever being open before, so I don't even know where I'm going at the moment. There was a split back there, and typically the path goes to the right. But this one went to the left. I think it's just a dead end. Or not. No, it's still going. We're going to explore together, because I don't even know where I'm going. How far down does this go? I think we've found the end. I think it's just down here. Yeah, that's the end right there. So it brings you down to this tree. And there's nothing else back this way. So I'm going to turn the camera off till we get back to that one split. Look what we found here. they've got a little box with a botanical guide in it, botanical tour guide. So not everything's digital. I thought they had gotten rid of all of the paper products. Well, here's the split. This is the pathway we came up from initially. So now we're going to continue going on the right. There's a little building to our left. It doesn't go anywhere, but it does have a picnic table in there. Might be a good spot. Quiet spot if you brought your own food and you wanted to have lunch up there. There's only one picnic table though, so if it's occupied, you'll be out of luck. You can overlook Condor Ridge to our right, but there's much better viewing for the mountain goats. I think that's what they are. Well, we'll take a look at what animal that is down there in a minute, as well as the California condors. Here's another turn in the path, but I think it comes right back here. For your safety, stay on the path. Has a picture of a snake. Never seen a snake through here. Here's another little offshoot with another bench. There's benches all around here, as you can see. And another pathway that goes up, but we're not going to take that path. We're just going to follow this one. One of the reasons I wanted to come back here was to show you how extensive this area is. And if you've never come up here, maybe you didn't even know it existed. Continues over here. Here's another pavilion with another picnic table. I'm curious, what's the view look like from up here? It's okay, but those trees are blocking the pretty scenic panorama. The other one might have been better. Huh. Okay, we reached the end of a pathway. I thought it was going to loop back around, but it's not. I'll turn the camera off till I find back where we're supposed to be. Actually, I'll just take you all the way to the exit, because at this point, I don't know that there's too much else to show you along this pathway. Well, I said I was going to wait until we got out of the area, but then I found this little nook. And there's signage down here, so I know you're meant to be able to come down here. But look, it keeps going. I didn't even know this was back here. I seriously did not know this was here. I don't know if they added this or I've just never bothered to explore this area that much. I have been through here, but we're like, where's the end of the pathway? I feel like a jungle explorer here. I also feel like I'm not supposed to be back here, but I know, whoa, there's a lizard. Said to stay on the path. Warning, there were snakes. I mean, I'm still on the path. But that little lizard just kind of jumped out at me. Doing some work back here by the looks of it. Hello. Well, now I know I'm on an okay pathway, right? There's people back here. Oh, I can't believe I've never seen this before. There's an overlook over here. Now I'm curious. What's it look like? Oh, gorgeous. Look at the balloon there in the background. Such a beautiful view. The camera doesn't do it justice. The camera's kind of zoomed out, but it is amazing. There's a truck over here for the workers. Hello. So I think if I'd have taken one of the other pathways back there, I'd end up here. Okay, here's the main pathway. We linked back up with it now. Okay. Wow, that was all there and I had no idea. Now I'm going to turn the camera off until we get back to the Condor Ridge area. What is this bug? That thing is kind of big. Yeah. Let's go and stay away from him. Here we are. Linked back up now where those rocks are. And headed to Condor Ridge. Now to our left is the goats area. I'm sure there's an official name for this animal. We're going to see if we can find it. It is going to be the desert bighorn sheep. And they're up there. Hard for you to see them from here. My camera doesn't zoom very well, so I don't even think zooming would help you see them. And then on this side, is where we'll find the California condors. This is their enclosure. See if I can see one. Unfortunately, I'm not right now. That is the nature of a zoo walkthrough. The animals aren't always going to be in a cooperative place. So, another reason why I can't spend too much time focusing on the animals through here, when this video is more showing you what the safari park looks like. And however long the video is right now, I feel like it's fairly long already. We've only scratched the surface of what the safari park has to offer. This video, and again, you already see how long it is, but for me, as I'm filming this, I don't know. I feel like at this rate, it could be more than 2 hours. We'll see, of course. And the reason that I'm filming this first thing in the morning is I'm trying to get through the safari park with the least amount of crowds. It does get very busy. The earlier you come, the fewer people will be here. We're also in a lesser traveled portion of the zoo this early in the morning, but it gets very crowded a little bit later on. Gray-winged trumpeter, and they have metallic starlings in here too. I think those are the guys that are going to be up in the trees. And then we have the ocellated turkey right here, coming to have a look. Hi. Approaching to our right is going to be the bald eagle. Now, any bald eagle that you see in a zoo inside America, as this is our state bird, is going to be an animal that cannot survive in the wild any longer. They can't fly, and they have some sort of issue with their wings, that they're unable to fly. And so this is kind of a way for us to take care of them and make sure that they can continue on despite their infirmity, ailment, handicap. As such, you'll notice that their enclosure, or that guy's enclosure at least, is very small. And again, that's because he doesn't need very much space, because he's not going to be flying around like that parrot right there. The thick-billed parrots. That's because the eagle can't fly. Now, if we were to go straight, we would link back up with Walkabout Australia. Here's that pathway I told you we weren't going to take. It's not a very long pathway, but it is a pathway there. There's also another sort of little garden area right here that you could walk through. It's very short, and so I'm not even going to bother walking in there. Right now, we're headed towards the Tiger Trail, but we're going via the Arbor Walk. The Arbor Walk is possibly my favorite area in the entire San Diego Zoo Safari Park. My family and I are very big into national parks. We love going to national parks. We go to one usually about every year. We also have a Cabrillo National Monument pretty close to us, and we like to go there just to get some exercise and walk around. But we love places like Sequoia and Zion and Bryce Canyon, as well as Yosemite. Been to a lot of different national parks. And this one especially just reminds me mostly of Yosemite and Sequoia, Kings Canyon, that sort of area. Of course, it's California. The California parks, and we're in California. So of course it's gonna give us that vibes, but I just love this area. There's nothing here to look at in terms of animals. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful walkway. It's so peaceful.
thing before it gets really busy.
So no.
I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Journey into the wild.
Now, as we enter the Tiger Trail, there's another split pathway. And if we head to the left, we're actually going to end up towards the elephant exhibit. And it looks like, did they put up a fence back here? We need to go into the Tiger Trail, but this used to be a pathway that would get you back to the elephant area. And I want to make sure that they didn't put up a fence closing this off now that they've opened the main pathway for the elephants. Because I don't want to, I think it's still open. Yeah, it's still open. Okay, we'll come back here in a moment. We're going to go through the Tiger Trail right now. So here's the start of the Tiger Trail. And there are 3 tiger viewing areas. And I don't know if you saw him. It was just right there. I just saw it. Looks like it might, nope, okay, I thought it was going to go down below.
Oh, yes, it is. I saw that under the eye.
There we go. So there's one of 3 tiger viewing areas right there. But if we come over here, there's 2 more. I gotta do it, folks. If you know my channel, you know my channel. Behold the 8th wonder of the world, the backside of water! O2H, O2H, O2H. So to our right is another viewing area. And oftentimes you'll find the tiger sitting right here on this platform. Not today, sometimes a little further in. But we're also at another little shop. This is McCann Market. You can get some drinks, some snacks here. There's some tables over this way where you can enjoy those snacks. And then this is the 3rd of the tiger viewing areas. And I don't see a tiger over here either. We did see the tiger back on the other side. But there's potentially tigers in all 3 spots. I have seen them. Oh, okay. There's one up here. I can see it. This is in the second one we pointed out with the platform. You see it back there? And again, the 3rd viewing area off to our left. Oh, actually, I can see the 3rd tiger. It's down here in front of this glass. It's right over that way. You just really can't see it from here. Let's see if we can get closer. But before we do that, I want to show you this playground they've got back here. There's playgrounds all around the safari park if your kids need a way to burn out some energy. They're not quite as exciting as they used to be, I feel like, but we do have some net climbs here, and there's a slide. So just a little area to let your kids burn off some energy and run around. Now let's go see if we can't get down to that 3rd tiger. Sometimes this is open, sometimes it isn't. Looks like it is open today. That's good. Oh, here's an entrance, right here. And there's the tiger right there. Now, if you continue going down that pathway, you'll end up back at the very entrance to this area where we had to choose between Walkabout Australia and the Tiger Trail. since we don't need to go back down that direction, you know what? I was going to take you through the back pathway, the pathway that we just pointed out behind the Elephant Valley, but we're not going to. We're going to go through the main entrance. We're already pretty close down to it this way. So let's go through the pathway the way you were intended to, which means we'll get to continue the Tiger Trail here. And you can see the bamboo forest. Not that there's anything super special about it. They do have this statue though, which I find to be really cool. And the music, the ambiance is nice. Now here's that split where we had to come in to begin with. Now we're going to go back down the wooden bridge here. I'm going to turn the camera off till we get to the entrance to Elephant Valley. Well, here we are at the split for Elephant Valley. And now we're going to walk down this pathway. I've never gone this way. This is going to be all new to me. Previously, there was a wall right here for forever. I've never seen anything back here before. In the 10 plus years I've been coming to the safari park. We moved to California in December of 2014, and we've had a San Diego Zoo and Safari Park annual pass pretty much ever since. Love coming up here. But again, this is brand new.
We are now looking at our first glimpse of how elephants are those ecosystem engineers. So as they walk through these areas, hold up, Riley.
Y'all know that pink dresses go first. Wait a minute, here comes Big Bretta.
It's a photo wall over here. Gonna walk down this way. Bottle fill. Drinking water bottle fill station. This is beautiful. Oh, absolutely beautiful. There's some rocks over off to the left. Let's walk in here, see what's in here.
Elephants. This is all Elephant Valley right here.
Excuse me.
Hi. Voices down
Hello.
to a minimum and no flash photography.
So they could potentially be up close here, but they're not at the moment. That's an area where you could get an up close look, it said.
But then he responds in English. Firing up the extra parts of the brain. Yeah. I thought it was funny. Your best friend?
Let's walk up around this way.
I heard a story when we got lunch about
On the left-hand side is the other viewing spot. The up-close area was right over there, but looks like all the elephants are there in the back. So it's the same general space that they had before, but it's much better kept and arranged. They've got pathways through here. They never used to have a path through this area, so this is the closest I've gotten to the elephants. Really, maybe even more so than at the zoo. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I saw elephant dumb.
I love this area. This is so amazing. Elephant crossing, so they can come underneath here. So this is just one big, they might have a door closed or something, so they can't always come through here, but we're going over top of where the elephants would go. Ah. This is so beautiful. They did a really good job. An amazing job with this. This used to be the viewing area for the elephants. That was it. This whole area didn't have this pathway. There'd be a one down there. Used to be an amphitheater right where the, I'm gonna probably butcher the name, but the Mkutano House. The amphitheater used to be down there. So they've ripped out the amphitheater and they've put in that area. It's just, oh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if we can get down there. I want to go down there. Go walk around, see if that's open. I tried to get reservations to eat there. It replaced the watering hole. The watering hole was a table service location here at the safari park over by Lion Camp. And that, from what I've heard, has got converted just into like event space. Here's the Roar and Snore Campground. Let's go turn to the right here and see if we can walk through this place. What I was saying was the reservations for this place they're out really far. So I don't know when I'm actually going to make it in there to be able to eat here and show you that.
Nice and muddy.
But isn't this amazing? Here's the outdoor dining area for the Mkutano House. I'm not sure if it's upstairs or downstairs because there's a little overlook. It might actually be upstairs. This might just be like a quick service downstairs. Oh yeah, because they've got a grill down here. Let's go see what they have down here because this is a new dining place. To grill, it says. Let's see what they have. They've got a beef skewer plate, a chicken skewer plate, falafel. Got smoothies here. And alcohol. That's it. So not a whole lot. That's going to be right there. And here's the Mkutano House. But it does not appear to be open at the moment. Hours of operation, 11 to 4. Looks like every day of the week. Last seating at 3:30. Future reservations can be made there. Might be able to try for walk-up, but I don't know. I'll have to let Amy know, and if she's able to get in there, then I'll come join them. They're here with her parents, just exploring the safari park. Obviously, they wouldn't want to go at my pace because I'm just blowing right by a lot of things. As I mentioned, the Roar and Snore Campground is off to the left. That is an extra expense, obviously. And you get to stay here overnight. And they do different things. They have different packages as well that have extra tours. You could go down that way, but we're actually going to head deeper into the Roar and Snore Campground a bit. Off to the left is another garden, herb garden. I'm not going to go through there. Very quick, in and out. Similar to the bonsai pavilion and that one area between Condor Ridge and the Arbor Walk. You can see more of the Roar and Snore to our right. Let's go this way. You'll see a bunch of tables down here. That's because there is another little dining spot, more of a bar down here, but I haven't seen it in use in quite a while, so I'm not sure if it's just used in conjunction with Roar and Snore now, or if I always just come too early, which is entirely possible because it's not even 11 o'clock. It's like 10:20 in the morning at the moment. But the reason we've come down here is because I wanted to show you where the Flightline Safari, their zip line, ends. It ends right here. And this was so fun, so very fun. If you're looking for an upgrade, do the Flightline Safari, and I recommend the Deluxe because the Deluxe gives you a 30-minute tour through the Asian Passage, which is this area right here. And it's an area that you can only access via paid tour. There's no way to get into there other than with the paid tour. So you get a 30-minute tour of the Asian Passage with the Deluxe Flightline Safari, and you get to go down that big zip line. If you don't do the Deluxe, it's just the zip line without the 30-minute tour. I think it's only like an extra $30. So $30 for a 30-minute tour, I found to be worth it. You still can see this expanse from right here. There's some giraffe down that way. Animals that you can see through here are going to be the Cape Buffalo, the eastern white-bearded wildebeest, the giraffe, the Thompson's gazelle, Lake Victoria Defasa waterbuck, and probably mispronouncing that, the Nile lechwe, fringe-eared oryx, the southern white rhinoceros, and the Kenya impala, and that's all from here. Now, they're not always going to be visible, but sometimes I've seen animals up in this area, specifically the rhinoceroses in particular I've seen up here, but it's this whole expanse, so you just have to look off in the distance. Bring your binoculars, maybe. Let's continue on. Right now we are headed away from the Roar and Snore Campground, and we are headed towards the Lion Camp and really the rest of the safari park. This area back here doesn't have a whole lot except for the big savanna overview. There's no other animals, predominantly because this is the campground. And so this is where you're going to find all the tents For a while, they'd turned this area over off to our right into like a little rest area with some covers and some seats. But it looks like they've torn that out. Maybe now that the watering hole is not being used as a restaurant. Kajami Overlook. It says, thank you for visiting the watering hole. We are now closed. So this is just, like I said, private event space. And today, you can see it's hosting a wedding. That used to be the only table service here at the safari park. And it had beautiful views. I loved being able to eat with views and overlooks of the savannah back there. This is the pathway that would have connected us to Elephant Valley if we had gone back here. It says Tembo Trail. But we took the long way around through the campground so that we could show you a few other things. There is a bathroom building right there in the middle if you need the restroom. Now, if we were to head straight on this pathway, we would end up at this area over there, the overlook, that's got an elevator that will take you up to the rest of the zoo, the safari park. But we're going to hit that a little bit later on. Right now, we're going to head left down to Lion Camp. But before we do that, I wanted to point out that this area to the right is a little water playground. So if it's hot and you want your kids to cool off a bit, there's a little water playground down there. This area right here is the cheetah run, and you'll see another pathway on the other side there that goes down past the lion camp. So if you use that pathway, you'll actually bypass the lion camp. But the cheetah run is right here in the middle, and that's a special presentation. There's not always cheetahs in there. It's only whenever they are doing the cheetah run. But here's the lion camp. You can still get in here from the back way. So that pathway wouldn't like completely make it so you can't come here, but it does skip it. Let me see if we can see a lion. Generally speaking, if I see people, it means that a lion must be somewhere. But I'm not seeing one. There's a couple of viewing areas for the lions, so we'll continue on. This is the viewing area that doesn't have glass in your way. But of course, it's only useful if the lions are right here, which they do not appear to be currently. And then the third viewing spot is going to be right down here. But once again, I don't think we're going to see the lions today. And that's going to be a no. So once again, we'll continue on. You usually don't see them down here, almost never. That pathway to the right is the walkway that was on the other side of the cheetah run that I said would bypass the lion camp. To my left is the entrance to the Africa Tram. This is a free ride here at the safari park. About 25 minutes, if I recall, about 25 minutes around the African Passage. And they're gonna, I mean, it's basically like going on a safari. The Africa Tram is literally like going on a safari. You'll get to see rhinoceroses and giraffes and zebras and all sorts of animals living in as close to their natural habitat as possible. It does not cost anything at all. However, they do have priority boarding if you don't want to wait in that line, because that line was probably about 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know if you could see where the line was, but $20 per person if you want to skip that line. They also have a Spanish tram. There's usually signage letting you know when that will be. I feel like it's sometime around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The Africa tram is 100% worth doing. And it opens 30 minutes after the park opens. So the park opens at 9 a.m. That means the Africa tram begins at 9:30. And if you want to see it without a line, I recommend making the Africa tram your first, or pretty close to your first primary stop once you get here. And get here early in the morning when they first open. That'll be the way to reduce your wait the most. Now we're coming down to the Africa Loop. This pathway to our right will connect us to the other side, but we don't need to go that way because this is, well, the Africa Loop. It's a big giant loop. So we'll come right past there again a little bit later and we'll point out where that happened to be. Beautiful overlooks of the water here. And this is going to be Okavango Outpost, one of the quick service locations here at the safari park. I love to eat here as well because of the views. Pretty much everywhere at the safari park is great to eat. I haven't had too many bad places. The gorgeous vistas all around. Here's what Okavango Outpost has to offer. The Okavango pasta, tomato flatbread, Italian torpedo, Greek salad, Italian cream soda, churro sundae. I'm sure they've got a couple of other things as well. That gives you an idea of the types of foods that they are going to have. Now we're approaching the cheetah area. We mentioned the cheetah run before. That is not where you are going to go to see the cheetahs. This is. And you'll often be able to see them right over here, walking around. There's a fence just where my finger is over there. So it's just this space right here where they can be. So usually you can see them. But
Actually, no, I don't know.
I am not right now. Maybe they're on the other side of logs or things laying down. Maybe they're not even on exhibit at the moment. We do have a volunteer posted here though, which would indicate that they're on exhibit. But I'm just not seeing them.
45 minutes, and he's been in and out 5 or 6 times.
Okay. The volunteer just said that he's been here for 45 minutes and he's seen him 5 or 6 times, but he comes and he goes. And he can go back inside if he wants to. They don't force the animal to stay outside. So that's what he was meaning by it comes and he goes. He's not out there right now. Aside from the Arbor Walk, the Africa Loop is possibly my second favorite area of the safari park, and you'll see why when we get down to the water. And here we are now down at the water. And the views through this area are just so serene. No matter which way you look, left or right, beautiful. Now there are animals to the right, different birds and things for the most part down here. Got another wet zone. They used to have a vending machine down here, but I don't see it anymore. And I don't even know if this wet zone is still functional or not. I think it might be. Let's just... Nope, no, it's not on at the moment. But the wet zone is crucial during the summer months. It's going to be 82 degrees today. 82 degrees here, sorry. 82 degrees, and it's May 9th, I think I said, May 9th. It doesn't get hot in San Diego really until July. July through September are our hottest months. In fact, it often tends to be, and this is the southern ground hornbill, and you can see him right there on that island. It tends to be that the first week of September has the highest temperatures in San Diego. Highest temperatures. So if you think about that, we're only in May and it's 82 degrees. I'm starting to sweat. I really am. It's that warm. When it's crazy hot here, it's almost unbearable. Unbearable. We try to avoid coming to the safari park from about, I would say, yeah, July to October. We don't come. October is our first month that we'll come back because of how hot it is through the summertime. And our summer does hit a little bit late. So just keep that in mind. If you do happen to be coming during that time, you are going to want to bring cooling towels, fans, take advantage of water stops, watering holes, water play areas, get wet, get soaked if you have to. Stay cool, stay hydrated. I need to switch out my battery on my camera, so I'm going to turn the camera off here. There we go. All switched. I've got some extra batteries. Some of you have asked me about my filming setup. I use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 recently came out, but it is not approved in the US because of some different laws and things that passed pertaining to the RFID and Bluetooth capabilities of the device. I don't remember all the details. Suffice it to say they won't sell it here, but you can buy it from like South Korea or China and have it shipped here. It's not that you can't use it, they just refuse to sell it in America. They're worried basically about the technology being able to spy on military installations and things like that. Anyway, the Osmo Pocket 4 is newly out, but they're coming out with an Osmo Pocket 4 Pro, which has better zoom capabilities, and I think a better camera. So I'm holding out for that one to upgrade my camera. But I use the Osmo Pocket 3, and I have a wireless microphone, the DJI Wireless Mic 2, and 2 external battery packs that I can just swap out. Here we have the Rupel's Vulture. And then in my bag that I carry with me, I have a power bank, and I will keep one battery on the camera and one battery as a backup. And then once one of them drains, I plug it into that power bank while I'm using the other one. And by the time that one drains, the other one's usually charged. And so I just keep the cycle going and keep swapping them back and forth for, you know, continuous filming without having to worry about running out of battery life. In here you'll find the white stork, the West African black-crowned crane, Egyptian goose, and the swan goose. Oftentimes these animals are in the far back of the exhibit, and it's pretty hard to see them. There's some ducks over here though. Oh, there's some right there. This area has a lot of switchbacks. It's also beautiful as well. I just love the safari park. If for no other reason than just to walk around. As locals, we love coming here just to get a walk. It's good exercise, really is. There's a lot of hills, so factor that in. Remember, if you think you need an ECV, they have them for rent at the front of the park. There is absolutely no shame in using one if you have a hard time getting around. Used to have a river hog over here. I don't know if he's still over this way. But we're coming upon the Okapi area, and I can see him down there. I love the Okapi, but there's going to be a better viewing area. Hopefully he doesn't move before we get up there. Off to our right, we're going to find some red flanked duikers and southern Gerenuk. You can see them there towards the back.
They call it southern.
Oh good, the Okapi has not gone anywhere. You are just going to get a look at his back end though. Looks like he's getting some lunch. Real quick look. Also in this area with the duikers and the Gerenuk is the Abyssinian ground hornbill. And again, my zoom, this is as far in as my zoom goes, and the quality drops when I do it, so I don't like zooming in. But maybe you can see him on the log directly in the center of your screen. That is the hornbill. I'm hoping that the new Osmo Pocket 4 Pro, based on what I've seen on YouTube videos, the zoom does look better. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to zoom a bit more than we currently can. There were some more vultures back that way. Got another viewing area here for the greater kudu.
Yeah, that is the down.
I did not see any though. There's something right here. Might be a kudu, greater kudu, or there's something else in here. He's right where my finger's pointing. He blends in really well with his surroundings though. Oh, you know what? I told you I was going to point out where that little shortcut went back to Okavango Outpost. We walked right by it. Oh well. Here is the overlook area that I mentioned earlier that has an elevator, and that's going to be how you get to the rest of the zoo. There's two ways into this area, via Elephant Valley and right here. Previously, when Elephant Valley was closed because they were remodeling the whole area, this was the only way in or out. Now, if you were to follow this pathway down, you would end up at the lion camp and that area where we said they had the water playground. Right here is also where you're going to get on the balloon safari. And if they haven't raised the price, it's only about $20 a person. Pretty cheap, pretty affordable. But Amy says she will never go up in that thing. I don't know if I will either. You can take the stairs if you want. My kids always like to take the stairs. We're gonna take the stairs, get some exercise, but I'm not gonna keep the camera on for it. When you reach the top, you'll have good views of the safari park from up here. The balloon safari is taking off right now. A couple of people on it. I think I see three people on it. Brave souls, brave souls. They have another little watering hole type thing right here. Not watering hole because that's the name of the place, but a little snack stop, I guess, refreshment stop. As well as a gift shop, Riff Gifts. From here, we have just a couple of places left. We're headed towards the gorillas, and then we'll have the Mombasa Lagoon and Nairobi Village areas. And this pathway will actually take us back to the front of the safari park, back to Safari Base Camp. And so we are winding down. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna turn the camera off through these types of areas. We'll keep recording. Let you see the entire safari park. Now to the left used to be the lemur walk. They have not had lemurs here for quite a few years now. Now, I believe it is used for gibbons. They still have animals in there, but you can't go in there anymore. It's basically just, the red-cheeked gibbon. I don't see any in plain view. I'm sure they're in there. This pathway over off to our right goes back by the lorikeet landing. That's what it is, not parakeets. Lorikeet landing. We'll try to point it out. We'll walk over by there when we get on the other side. Here's the Mawazo Kitchen. Another quick service location here at the safari park. Let's go see if we can show you what they have. Looks like they're gonna have some nachos. Some chicken tenders. Looks like a rice bowl of some kind. Maybe not rice, just like a salad. Some fries, but Mexican style dishes. Baja flavors, it says. Surf and turf burrito, $25. Mawazo burrito bowl, $19. Hand battered chicken tenders, $19. Street tacos, $18. Chicken fiesta salad is $17. The viewing area is back that way. Once again, there's a couple of seats with some amazing overlooks. And then let's go down this way to show you another playground, another play space here at the safari park. Except for they got rid of the, let's keep going down there. They got rid of the big area. They had like a big, huge, I don't want to call it a jungle gym, but it was definitely a thing that you could climb up. And it's completely gone. So many places have ripped out good playgrounds because somebody gets hurt just being a kid, you know. They're not paying attention, or they're doing something they shouldn't be, and they fall or whatever, and they get hurt, and then people sue. And then all the good playground stuff gets ripped out and just turned into this. Kids can still run, right? Burn off energy, but it's not nearly as fun as it used to be. They have restrooms down here. Now back here at the Mawazo Kitchen, right next to that area is Journey into the Wild, which is a bird show. And this takes place at 1 p.m. I've never really been here that late, so I've never seen the show. We're usually here from about 9 to noon. Sometimes we eat lunch here, sometimes we don't. Trying to text Amy right now, figure out where we are going to be eating lunch.
Oh, so that's what. So if it was like a height, that's what I would.
We are approaching the gorilla area. And that was sound effects, by the way. Not a real gorilla. I can see gorillas further along in the enclosure. You can see all the people over there off to the right. Anytime you visit the zoo or the safari park, if you want to know where the animals are, just look for the people. Where all the people are crowded is where you can see the animals. If you walk upon a viewing area that has no people at it, probably aren't going to be able to see the animals from that viewing area. They could be really anywhere on the left here. I can see one through the trees there in the back. He just looks like a black lump to you guys probably. But if we keep going down, you can see a little closer one. And here's all the people.
I did not notice. We both get half just now.
It's lettuce, I think. Yeah. That's a part of salad.
Sitting up just a minute.
Turn around. Wow, these guys, we're really lucky here. We're getting to see these guys awake. Wow, Jay, get some good pictures.
Do you see the more of them over there on the back wall? Make sure you check out the gorillas. They're a pretty awesome part of the safari park. To our left is a little bird cage. Several different types of birds in there. We have one final area to go through. Two, I guess, because they're two different names. The Mombasa Lagoon and the Nairobi Village, but they're both in the same... Oh, thank you, yeah. Somebody else had an Osmo Pocket back there. The Osmo Pocket 3 is probably the most popular vlogging camera right now. Here's the Mombasa Lagoon. Now if you head over off to the left, there is a fort that my kids love going through. There's two levels of it. They always go on the upper level. And it overlooks the lagoon and gives you a really beautiful view. But we want to walk this way to show you as much of the safari park as possible. This is a big loop around the lagoon, and the Nairobi Village is just located on the other side. If you were to go through that fort, that's actually the quickest way out of the park. The fort will spit you out right into Safari Base Camp, and from there you can exit. But we don't want to do that just yet. Let's go down here. Let you take a look at these pelicans. I assume they're pelicans. They don't have a bird sign to tell you what it is, but I'm going to assume a pelican. Whole island of pelicans. Here's another private event area, and this is going to be for a memorial service. It says celebration of life. So we have a wedding and a memorial service going on today. When they have the butterfly exhibit going on, this is the area where you can go into the butterflies. Right here, the hidden jungle. But the butterflies aren't here at this time of year. I don't remember when they are actually. Maybe earlier in the spring. If I turn around here, we have an ice cream location, Kibo, cones and snacks. Ice cream treats, sundaes, floats, root beer floats, hot dogs, other novelties. And then, so they've gotten rid of the lorikeets, I think. It's just rainforest aviary now, so you can't go in here. But this is the pathway that we pointed out earlier over by Mowazo Kitchen. It would just send you this way. You can go through this aviary. They have Allen's hummingbird, Anna's hummingbird, Costa's hummingbird, and black-chinned hummingbirds. So it's a hummingbird exhibit now. Used to be you could pay to go feed the lorikeets in there, and that was a fun experience. They've gotten rid of that. The Mombasa Cooker, there's Kibo over there to the left. Mombasa Cooker is another quick service location. Let's pop over here. The celebration of life was taking place behind Mombasa Cooker in their seating area. So they've got two different seating areas. When that space isn't being used for special events, they just open it up for anybody to sit at. We have buffalo chicken fries, 20 bucks. Hand battered chicken tenders, 19. Hand dipped corn dogs, 17. Buffalo ranch chicken wrap for 17. And a couple of sides, beignets, churro fries, waffle cones. Not a whole lot. Straight ahead, the grass hut you see there is where you do check-in for, at least it was when we did the Flightline Safari. That's where you would check in for the Flightline Safari because they have a smaller zip line over here that's like a test zip line that they're just going to run you along to make sure that you are comfortable with zip lines to begin with. Yep, and it's still back there. So this is an area they'd walk you through right here. After going through some safety stuff, they'd take you down the small zip line, which I think ends just right over here. Like I said, very small zip line. But it does say closed at the moment. So either they're not doing the zip lines at all, or they're having you check in somewhere else. Again, pay attention to the information provided in the email if you pay for one of those extra services. Oasis on the Rocks is another little snack place right next to the Mombasa Cooker. This pathway used to be how you would get down to the elephants, but again, that is permanently closed off now. They have changed the entrance to Elephant Valley to be over by Thorntree Terrace and the wooden bridge up to Walkabout Australia. Here's the Flying Foxes house. You can go in there and you can see flying foxes. We won't pop inside, just walk by. Now there are two pathways that we can take. If we take left, we'll end up right over by the lagoon. And there are animals over that way. But I want to show you the Nairobi Village, which is over off to our right. There are animals down this way too. And as we've said a few times, there are just too many pathways to take every single one of them. And the Mombasa Lagoon has a bunch of different offshoots. So we're going to miss animals back that way one way or another. And instead we'll come over here and show you the petting zoo. At least it was the oh, it's not the petting zoo anymore. It's been a while since I've been through here. This used to be a petting zoo. Now it's just Barbary sheep, it says. You can see them in there. See, they've walled this off. No more petting zoo. That's sad. It's one of the things that I wanted to show you. Oh well. To our left is the Kalahari Cupboard, another ice cream spot. Soft serve, ice cream, warm pretzels. Here's one of those Mombasa Lagoon walkways. And another one over here. You can see the fort and the waterfall over there, and then yet another pathway right there from Mombasa Lagoon. We've got the Visayan warty pig over here. And you can see two warty pigs there in the back. One over in the sun off to the left and one over in the shade by the wall. Here's the Burmese python in the Nairobi Village.
24 feet long. Oh, I see it. It's right there on the platform.
Can you see it right there?
It's right there on the platform. That is so cool.
It's glare. I can't get around the glare. So there's going to be a lot of like little exhibits here. Black tree monitor, Madagascar tree boa, might be in here somewhere. We have the western bearded anole. Having a hard time finding these guys. Here's a python. Oh, here he is. Right down here by the glass. Angolan python. Kimberley rock monitor. Not seeing any of these. Pancake tortoise. Oh, here's the pancake tortoise.
He was in there. He was in a little rock.
Is he not there anymore?
I don't see him.
The woma. Another tortoise. Malagasy spider tortoise. Robert the zebra will appear right here at different times throughout the day and talk to kids. Robert the zebra is really fun. Make sure that you take a look at the event schedule and come here through the Nairobi Village when Robert the zebra is out. Is the sand cat around? Oh yeah, Amy loves the sand cat. Do you see him? Again, glare is probably going to, let's see if I can get over. There we go. Isn't he so cute? That's the sand cat. He is definitely not a cuddly, pettable cat. He's a wild animal.
That is coming.
And now we are back That's Safari Base Camp. The bazaar is open now. You can go in there and check out the gift shop. How long did that take us? We got here at about 9 o'clock, and it's 11:10. That means we just spent 2 hours walking around the safari park, showing you everything. I told you we'd take you into the Wings of the World Aviary, and we will absolutely do that, but we'll do it on my way out. Right now I need to go link up with my family and have some lunch. So we'll catch you in maybe an hour or so. It is now 12:20 in the afternoon, and we are gonna come over here to Wings of the World, as I said, on our way out. One final bit of the park that we have to go through. I am not the biggest fan of aviaries, just because I have this irrational, maybe irrational, fear of birds pooping on my head. I do have a hat though. All right, now we've come in here. It is nice. I always like a good waterfall, and there's a waterfall right there. The big thing is to just avoid any paths where there are white spots on the ground. I don't know how often they clean through here. There's birds all around. You can clearly see that there's white lines on the rocks. There's actually, woo! Also getting hit by the bird. And that was it. That was real quick. It's not very long. And that's gonna bring you out right back here at the entrance to the park. As I said, the entrance is also the exit. So you can go into Safari Outfitters on your way out if you'd like. Or the bazaar, which is in Safari Base Camp, is the largest gift shop on property. It used to be, if you've been here, I haven't been here in a while, but you have been here in the past, that you would go out that way. Now you no longer do. That is not the exit. The exit is just right through here. They've changed that around now. And that is going to be it for our time here today at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, giving you a full tour of the entire zoo. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. And thank you for watching. I applaud you if you've made it this far. Click this video to check out my San Diego Zoo tour if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.